One. Hello, it is your host. It's Axel. I got my co-host Trixzov,
Yo, yo, yo.
and we have our guest star Rick Gold.
Sup?
Today's Toddcast. Let me rephrase that.
Toddcast.
Today's podcast is about the future. Now, so I probably should have written down a schedule before I started this, but you know what? I'll wing it. So
We can do it.
today we're talking about the future. The future is a great idea. I mean, there's on the one hand, you have, the opportunity that, possibly in the future you'll have something great or you'll be somebody great. Not you, Ryan Reynolds. Not you.
Ouch.
How dare you?
I'm just kidding.
It's Deadpool.
Just kidding. I
He's
love
also
Ryan
a cute
Reynolds.
Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu. Anyway, so where to begin with the future? Personally, for me, I just want to be able to wake up every morning without having to worry about getting shot, That's all I want for the future. What do you want for the future, Charles?
Well, let's see. For the future, I'd want society to be a lot more better. People to act better. Just peace and not nuking Korea or Donald Trump assuming wanting to nuke Korea.
And you were
Or
gold.
building a wall.
Or building a wall.
I just want all the people who are watching us to have good health and better lives than me.
Good idea. So,
Good idea.
I want to apologize in advance if the mic quality is quiet.
We can turn it up on our editor.
Yeah, I can adjust the pitch of it and make it higher. Well, not
The
the pitch,
volume.
but the volume, not the pitch, not the pitch.
This isn't singing.
Would you care to sing as a dip? No, I'm kidding. Okay, starting off with our first subject, space. Deep space exploration has always been a good topic and a good idea because eventually Earth will either die out before we have the chance to overpopulate, or we're going to populate the Earth so much that there won't be enough space for everybody. So, as you can know, if you don't know this, NASA is planning on building a rocket and taking people to the moon to stay there. Now, staying on the moon is a great idea, except for the fact if you realize that most people probably won't be able to come back to Earth, because from something I read, I don't know how true this is, but apparently the longer you stay in space, the harder it is to come back to Earth because your spine gets stretched due to low gravity. And so when you land on Earth, it feels like you're just being pressed to the Earth like as hard as possible, and sleeping and walking just become really hard. Like when you're exhausted, standing's just hard, except it's like 100% of the time when you're on Earth.
Yeah.
So, getting to Mars is going to be our greatest accomplishment yet so far.
If we can colonize Mars, then I feel like we can do anything with technology after that.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure how long this podcast will be. Hopefully we can manage to make it into longer than 20 minutes, because there's not a lot of topics about the future. There's like stuff that you want. I've come up with a here now little list in my mind, so we're going to try and get there to all of it, and hopefully we can make this podcast at least 40 minutes long. So Rick Gold, what do you think about deep space exploration?
Well,
You got to talk louder and get closer.
it's gonna take a couple of years.
Of course, it would take a couple of years for space exploration.
Also, aliens. So that's nice.
Just had to say aliens, didn't you?
Yes.
So we have a believer of aliens here.
Okay.
Yeah, there's intelligent life.
If
Okay.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, the truth is out there.
Are you sure? Are you 100% positive that aliens are real?
I mean, one of the presidents said that aliens are real, so it's obviously true.
Oh, that.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Well, if Donald Trump. So basically, you're saying that if Donald Trump says we need to keep out all the Mexicans, that's pretty much true.
Hell no.
Then you're a hypocrite.
But Donald Trump's an idiot, so.
But he's a president, and so basically.
That is going to be loud as soon as we...
Oh crap, we just brought politics into this. Crap.
You brought politics into it a while ago.
We always bring politics into the podcast for some reason.
Look, my point is, share your political views down in the comment section below if you really want to. The point is, you basically just said if a world leader says something, it's automatically true.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump
No.
has said we need
He's
to keep
not.
out all the Mexicans. Therefore, since he is a president, which makes him a world
It
leader,
was a joke. It was a
How
joke.
is...
Oh my god.
I'm not. No, we're not going into politics. Let's continue on explore the
Don't talk about
space.
politics in the comments. We
Be
both
quiet.
disabled them.
We're going to talk about more space exploration and what technology would be like if we were to explore space more.
so obviously, the farther into space you go, the less unknown there is. Now, as most people always, as little children always like to question themselves, how big is the universe? As we know right now, infinite. Because of the simple possibility that
Forever expanding.
not necessarily it's forever expanding, because there's no way that it could. I mean, there are ways for new stars to be born, but at the same time, there's no way for the universe to expand. How it's happening is light takes time to travel, even across space, even how fast light is. Light still has to travel from wherever. So let's get back into aliens, for example. If there is intelligent life, okay, so if you draw two circles in a Venn diagram, like really big circles, because I'm going to try and explain this in the best way I can using my voice and not actually drawing a picture. But you have two circles.
He's hand motioning this right now to us.
Right, so you have a Venn diagram. Hopefully you know what that is. Anyway, basically, we're in the center of our circle. So Earth's on the left circle. We're in the center of that circle, and whatever intelligent life may be out there is on the right circle. The center is where our paths intersect, but they are so far away from each other that whatever light has reached them has not reached us. That is why we are not able to see their planet. So, in a better way of putting this, basically is the universe is not expanding as much as it's taking time for whatever planets are out there, it's taking time for their star's light to reach us so we can discover them. If that makes sense. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to explain about like what I think some technology we could try for space exploration. First of all, I would say we can try and build more powerful telescopes.
Like,
Even if it just sees further even if it's in your house, as long as it can see further than what we currently can see, even if it's just stars, it doesn't have to be planets. But even if we were able to do that, then that could lead to more and more knowledge about space. And of course, with like our rockets or other technology, I feel like if we put a lot more satellites out further out throughout our galaxy, and we were able to still receive the stuff from them, that we'd probably be able to see away from our galaxy and maybe into another part.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like space is like a big topic, and you can't just condense it down into small little fragments. True. And I mean, there's much more topics to space that I have yet to cover, and I'm going to cover this one right now. My most favorite part about space. Now, I know he was a Russian, but I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce his name. But I just call it the K scale. But basically, if you can try and figure out how to condense what I'm about to say into a couple of words for Google to find it. Anyway, basically, this scale is a scale of measuring civilizations based off their technology.
Yeah.
So, there are 3 stages to this guy's scale. There is stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, and Earth doesn't even reach stage 1 yet.
What?
Yeah. And that's my mom in the background if you can barely hear her. Anyway, Earth, in order to be a stage 1 planet, stage 1 civilization, you have to be able to harness all your energy out of your sun and use it as an efficient fuel source. And Earth cannot do that yet. We are not physically capable of doing that yet. Now, the second stage is harnessing, I believe, now I'm not certain, so correct me if I'm wrong if you can find this. I believe the second stage is harnessing the energy out of all the stars in your system, in your whole galaxy. So every single star in the Milky Way, we use that as an energy source. And I believe the third and final stage is harnessing the energy of the black hole at the center of your galaxy, yeah. Now, that sounds like a lot of energy to have, you know? I mean, black holes give off an insane amount of energy, but at the same time, with current modern technology, it's impossible to even get close to a black hole, let alone look at one, you know? I mean, we do have an official first picture of one.
But we don't know if that's fake or not.
Well, I think NASA announced it.
Yes,
so.
NASA may have announced it, but NASA or any scientist can always be wrong.
Or alter the truth.
Yes.
Well, I personally would rather
that could just be a picture of a Pringles can. Let's be honest here.
I personally prefer the black hole to look like all the CGI photos you see and what they look like in the movies, because that just looks a lot cooler.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, they could probably barely hear you, but you know it is what it is. If you can hear her, she's like that comment in the background. She's like that unregistered YouTube comment,
The
you know.
audience.
Yeah.
The personal audience.
So yeah, I am working. I believe that is like very interesting. That is awesome. Like if you could harness the energy of black holes, you could give off 1,000 times. You could
Even
power,
just a little sap of
hell.
black hole
The energy of our star could
can power a super Earth, dude.
the energy of our sun could probably power 90% of the world's countries and then some. In my personal mind, now I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. Space has
Now,
been.
Rick Gold, what devices would you like to see in space exploration?
Hey, focus, buddy.
I really don't know.
Turn the phone off. Focus.
We have an unfocuser here, and he wants to join on the podcast.
I mean, I'm a guest.
Yeah, but you still have to participate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know that much about this stuff, so I'm letting you guys talk.
Okay, so I think maybe move on to the next topic of future, maybe?
Medical.
You want to move on to medical?
We're going to move on to the medical
Okay,
topic.
sure.
Okay, now I know Rick knows a decent amount about medical.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't say he's a professional, but he knows a small amount. So,
He knows his way around.
I personally hate the medical industry. I believe it's
Yeah.
farced.
I really do not
I
get
believe
into medical.
they charge you thousands of dollars for things that don't actually work.
Yeah, keeping you alive is stupid.
Yes, but at the same time, a bottle of insulin that keeps a diabetic person costing almost as much as a PlayStation 4.
A PlayStation 4 is now $100.
And insulin can be over $100 too.
It's $100.
Okay. My point is, why does the medical industry charge you $100 to $200 just
Hundreds of thousands of dollars just to give you a little thing that could probably help you live half of a year or a year longer?
Now, we are going to take a short break real quick.
All right, back from that break, let's get back into this.
So, I believe where we left off, we were talking about how I hate the medical industry because they
And
charge you...
about me saying that they would charge you all that money for cheap stuff.
When in reality, the thing that should save your life should not be hundreds of dollars. When in reality, it should just be like $3 or $2. You know?
Or even you taking personal care of yourself. Eating healthy, good hygiene. All these things can help you.
But they don't.
It's been proven.
They don't do that because
they're lazy.
No, because they don't want you
They
to.
rely.
They don't want you to
No.
be healthy because then they don't make money.
No, I'm saying for the people that didn't know about them and then they just found out about them, they don't eat healthy. They don't work out. They just are lazy, and then they go and to these doctors and everything, and then they try and get help. They spend so much money, and then they find out that in the younger years, if they wanted to live a little bit older, they could have just eaten healthy or stayed fit.
And honestly, as a kid and a teenager, like if you're a kid or a teenager, this is your time to take a stand and start being healthy and eating better.
Yeah.
You got something
You want to be
funny?
fit.
You got something that's funny?
You're a hypocrite.
I am a hypocrite, and you know what? I'm fat, lazy, and I
Well,
don't really feel like doing it.
That is what
Also,
a podcast
Ethan.
is. It's your opinion. Now, if you're
Ethan.
going to talk, you're going to want to get close to the mic.
Okay, let me get closer to this.
Because I'm not turning it up so loud for your voice to still not be in it.
If of course they're gonna make anything that helps people like $1,000 or freaking $300. If they made a cure for cancer, you know how much money that's gonna be worth?
It would be more than...
1,000 or
It'd be probably more than a car.
it'd probably be close to the millions.
Already is a cure for cancer. The pharmaceutical companies don't want it to be out there.
Because they want.
They want the money.
It's money.
So basically, for those of you who couldn't hear my mom, she said that there's already a cure for cancer, but it's not out there because then the medical industry loses money, right? Because, the more cancer patients, the more they get treated, which means more money for the hospital.
More people pumped full of radiation.
Which is exactly why I don't like the medical industry.
That's right. Stick it to the man, Ethan.
I personally, I don't know how to heal people at all, and I really don't care to learn. But as a human, I believe that it's just illogical to make it to where humans can't get what they need to survive because of the fact that the medical industry wants money. I mean, basically, it's like, why do that? I mean, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but the medical industry just needs to get their heads out of their asses and,
There goes the monetization for this video.
And like we're monetized.
We're not monetized. It'll be like at least 30 more years before I'm monetized,
Yeah.
It's all about the money, money, money. We love you, money, money.
Okay, so
Insert song clip here.
No. Because you'll get copyright striked by Universal Studios.
What does that say?
non-commercial, home use only.
Do you want me to make that professional use?
All right, so let's talk about what kind of technology we would like to see in the medical
Full
industry.
dive virtual reality, hands down.
Medical industry.
You mean medical? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we were on gaming now.
We're not
Okay.
moving up yet.
Okay.
We're still on medical.
That'll be technology.
But you know what?
We could do like 10 minutes of every topic in the future.
Well, we are about 4 minutes into the medical topic.
Yeah.
4 minutes and like 50 seconds.
Well, like 5 minutes actually.
Yeah. Okay. So, about the medical industry. I hate this topic personally, but I'm going to go with it because I need views and maybe certain people out there would like to learn about the medical industry. So, most of you know that technology will save the world. Or doom
Or
it.
so people think.
Or doom it. I mean, if you really think about it, credit cards, cell phones, gaming, PS4s, gay box ones, it just...
Self-driving cars, self-flying planes.
They can't hear you, but she said self-driving cars and self-driving planes. Driving.
That's not political.
But the thing is, technology has just made life easier, but at the same point, it's part of the reason that humans are so lazy. At this point, I don't really believe that there's any way to change that. I mean, if you were to tell the world, hey... Alrighty then. Nice desktop you got there.
You didn't see it earlier.
I didn't see it earlier?
Well, I had it open on my desktop. You didn't
Don't worry,
see it
I got
earlier.
the same thing. I could not the same picture, but I'm gonna do something similar to that shortly. Yeah. So, anyway, moving on. As you know, most of you, where was I? I got lost.
You were I don't
Talking
even
about
know.
technology
Yeah,
in the medical industry.
technology and medical.
Yeah. So, if there was a device, if the doctors told you that there was a device that was nanorobots, right? Now, nanorobots are these
Nanobots.
small, not nanobots. I'm going to call them nanorobots. They're these small little little robots that, let's just say the doctor tells you that there's a technology out there that can shrink down into your bloodstream and shrink a tumor to
And kill anything in your system.
like, let's say there's a virus that's attacking your red blood cell or your white blood cells, and you can't stop it because there's no way to stop that at the moment. But they told you that there's these little tiny robots that can climb into your bloodstream, shrink down the virus, and make it practically invisible. Or the same thing for tumors, or stuff that could be causing your bones to start cracking and making.
Milk if your bones are cracking.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you want to see technology where they're nanobots that can get into your bloodstreams and kill viruses,
Or heck, even for a hollow point bullet that got lodged in a spot that could kill you if it's moved, or a spot that could save you if it's taken out, right? Nanorobot goes into your bloodstream, shrinks down the bullet, and makes it disappear permanently, and then you're good, right? You just need to be sewed up and you'll be good. But the problem is that technology would be super crazy expensive, and
It would cost a lot.
the treatment would be insanely overpriced. Okay, again with the politics, Rick. Before I start calling you Donovan. Okay. That's what I thought.
See, the technology that I would probably like to see in the medical industry would possibly be like better health support.
Life support.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
and maybe like machines that could boost your lifespan.
Or heck, even an exosuit that could boost your heightened senses and your speed and all that and reaction time. No, that's not medical.
I feel like that would possibly go into
But-
your nanobot idea.
Yeah.
But
technology that could boost your senses or make you a better person. I feel like flaws that every person has are what make them who they are. Like, I despise seeing someone who has no flaws. And I'm not saying that they're perfect, but I'm just saying that they've conquered most of their flaws.
Everyone has flaws.
I despise seeing people who look perfect and act perfect and act like they're better. It makes me just want to...
Like a popular crowd that all looks the same.
Exactly, like the popular crowd that all looks the same. Looks like... So, yeah, I mean, I despise seeing it. But, I mean, it's just like, it... I don't know why it... I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. I'm tired.
You keep getting lost.
Give me the glazed donut. I need the glazed donut.
Give them the glazed donut.
I'm getting the glazed donut. 1 second, podcast. I ate a piece of it.
Yeah, he never finished it, actually.
It is glazed donut time.
Yes, they're over here enjoying glazed donuts while my two are still in the box that Rick has. Give me my glazed donuts. Alright. I'm keeping the rest of this box.
Okay, so
Donuts are still in there.
Yeah, I know they are. Alright.
I'm gonna go get my
There you go,
Coke.
Idaho. Now I gotta eat mine.
we are back, and we are moving into our next topic. Sorry if you hear me scooting on my chair. Gotta get comfortable. Kind of lost the studio.
So, next topic. What do we think next topic is?
technology as a whole.
Technology as a whole.
I think we can save that one for last.
Gaming,
You want to move into gaming?
and then travel. Well, no, we
No,
already
no
did travel. We already
no
did travel.
No travel.
How
The
about
future. We can do future of travel.
or
Okay, so we're gonna do
No.
gaming first.
underwater cities?
We can do gaming and then that.
Yeah. Okay.
Bioshock, okay, nice.
Okay. Right. Moving into gaming.
All right.
Full dive virtual reality. By far, that's all I asked for.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yesterday in Microsoft's E3, I know by the time
Microsoft-
you're hearing this, it's going to be way past it. But yesterday, Microsoft's E3, they announced their new Xbox.
Really?
They're going to be calling it Project Scarlet, and they're boasting about 120 frames per second, like a lot of RAM, like almost half of Ninja's gaming PC. I'm gonna say that.
So basically,
Probably one.
here's why I think the gay box might do better than the PS4 with the next generation consoles.
PS5.
Because the PS5 has been announced for so long, and there's been so many concept ideas out.
They're
And
now just announcing.
okay, not making it official, but there's been so many.
No, it's official. They're making it.
I know. I'm talking like before the official announcement. Even like back in 2017, there was still talks about the PS5
Yeah, but
and
that doesn't
concept
mean
ideas made by fans.
But that doesn't mean that it's gonna be called PS5. I mean,
right, it could be called something completely different.
Because okay, so this year, if you don't know anything about the gaming community, I would skip 10 minutes ahead. But Sony is not going to E3 this year.
Yeah, they're
They're gonna do their own little thing, July. I'm pretty sure it is July, and they're going to announce their next gen console. So Xbox is boasting, so they did it this year, but Sony is gonna do. Well, I mean, this E3 and E3. So Sony's gonna do their own thing, but I've lost my entire train of thought.
You're talking
gonna
about-
do their own thing so they can just
Yeah,
announce all their games separately, like Nintendo.
I don't
does.
know how what I just said ties into what you guys are saying.
I was talking about the PS5.
Oh, okay, yeah, about the. But I think between the two, of the announcement of them working together on cloud services, I feel like they would use somewhere around the same technology in their consoles.
Yeah.
Because
But
they
That's
want
what they've
to,
been doing for the past.
They want to
decade and a
cooperate with their cloud storages.
Yeah, and with crossplay becoming more of a bigger idea. they
Yeah,
have
more
to,
of a reality
rather than
instead of a
dream.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the newest things between, like, I know Fortnite and Rocket League have been out and cross-playing for a while now, but they're trying to expand more and more online multiplayer games. With the other one I saw the other day, they're doing with Brawlhalla. If you don't know what Brawlhalla is, it's a off-brand...
Smash Bros.
Smash Bros, yes. But they are starting to cross-play that.
Which means I could get all my legends on PC,
No, they're not cross-playing between PS4 or PC yet.
but PS4 and Xbox. Most
PS4,
likely.
Xbox, Switch.
Just
But
the consoles.
yeah, and then I feel like cross-playing is going to be more implemented into a lot of games, even the co-op games. Like, I feel like if you have ever heard of the Diablo series, I feel like those would possibly get cross-played.
I think they're supposed to be making Diablo, so or at least sometime in the future.
I don't know. They've never made a public announcement. But I feel like a lot of the upcoming games in the future, especially on these next-gen consoles, could possibly be cross-played with PC just because of the technology that we're about to enter, the new era.
You know what kind of
technology
sucks,
we're about
though,
to enter.
about the release of the PlayStation 5, when it comes? I literally have just gotten into PS4, like, last year, because I've had a PS3 most of the time. Yeah, I know, and that's because they were so expensive when I wanted to get them.
Okay, see, but here's the thing, when a new console releases of that generation, is that there's so many flaws in it. There's going to be so many system bugs, so many hardware fails.
Yeah.
Especially with the games, because every game, usually most of the games that come out, like big releases, open worlds,
Yes.
there's so many bugs that, when Assassin's Creed Unity came out, there were tons of bugs
Yes.
in it. When I played it, I got it like a couple weeks, months when it came out, so
Yeah.
I didn't experience any of the bugs that people said.
But honestly, I feel like even though Sony and Microsoft have been big game competitors, I still feel like VR is going to take the world by storm.
Yeah,
I feel like VR would be a big industry to invest into.
Yeah, VR would be more implemented
Because, I mean,
into the future.
there's most of the reasons people play games is to escape their lives. And what better reason to do that? What better way to do that than to actually put your body into a video game?
Yeah, and with VR, they're constantly working and upgrading their headsets and everything. With the newest release being Oculus Quest, I believe it is called.
Yeah.
It's completely wireless, but it still connects to your PC and everything.
It's basically like the Oculus shirt.
Yeah.
But less wires.
But I feel like with the advancements of VR that we can get into a lot more with VR and make even better games.
Like, right now, virtual reality is fun, but it's
Yes.
extremely uncomfortable.
It can be uncomfortable if you have epileptic seizures
Or-
or you get motion sickness very easily.
Or unnatural insensitivity to light,
Yes.
which causes kind of a long
That's what
epileptic seizure.
yes.
Yeah, but I mean, also, it's kind of hard, even as a normal person without these problems, to transition from being inside a VR headset back to the real world. You still feel like if you were playing super hot,
You're very nauseous.
yeah,
yes.
you still feel like the world's kind of moving and stuff.
And if you don't know what super hot is, it is a
Very fun VR
is
game that I
a-
suggest you try in VR instead of on
basically
a
almost
console.
like a Hitman simulator, if you would say, except for they're coming all after you.
It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
But
I've
it can
seen
get hard.
I really want to play it.
I have it at my dad's
Yeah.
house. If you ever come over there, you'll try it sometime. It's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, so
I feel like with this gaming topic that we can sit here and do it a lot, but of course we're gonna sit on our schedule.
But I feel like the gaming topic should be what we talk about most because A, my channel and your channel are both gaming channels.
true.
I
Yes.
know more about gaming than anything else.
The future of Siege is looking pretty bleak, my guys.
Mhm.
Year 4, I feel like there's going to be a ton of new, like the rework of Cafe Dostoevsky is great and all. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, so where we last left off is we were talking about the hope, or what we will hope to see in year 4. Now, if I remember correctly, Phantom Sight, they are reworking Cafe Dostoevsky, obviously. It comes out tomorrow, June 11th, 2019.
Or if you're watching this, it'll be later.
Yeah, if you're watching this at Phantom Sight, hey, comment, what do you think about it? I believe the season after Phantom Sight, they are reworking Canal, right?
I think so.
Right. So, basically, I don't know what to think about year 4. Hopefully, year 5, they invent some new maps. That's a whole 6 months from now. So, or a little bit over 6 months, but
But of course,
Probably be an E3.
the topic about it is that what we want to think. Okay, what do we want to think of what do we want in the future of gaming?
I'm not going to pertain this specifically to Siege.
Yeah,
So-
I'm saying gaming in general because our podcast is the future, about the future.
I wish for more. I want an environment to bring me into it. I want a game that I can actually just lose myself in and, not have to worry about anything else. I don't want to play GTA.
What I want to play, I think I would like to, as a game, I would like to see an auto-generating open world.
Kind of like
where like it never ends. Like you always have something to do.
Like there's no map order.
Yeah.
Or it has a quest generator. It generates random
It
quests.
generates random quests, generates random map.
Mhm.
I'd
I mean,
like to
there's
see a game
games that
like
have similar properties, but not together anyway.
I'm saying on a bigger scale.
Yeah, like cities that bring in. I would love
Yeah.
to see
Like
a
a
game.
Daylight.
I would love to see. Now, I don't like Pokemon, but I would play it if they had built a Pokemon game that had every single region in the entire whole universe. That would be awesome.
They
of course,
almost did, they did that with Sun and Moon every previous. Well, no, I know.
They
what you're
did
saying.
different islands for Alola, but I'm talking like Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova,
like
Kalos.
all the maps just
all
in
of
one
them
big
in the
map.
one big, yeah. But the problem is they can't really do that. I mean, they could possibly do it with the Nintendo Switch, but back on 3DS it wasn't possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the Pokemon maps may look big on the 3DS games, but basically, every time you had to walk through a wall or like to get to the next part, it was a different cell.
Yeah.
So it was multiple cells comprised into one gigantic map.
Yeah. I think we're gonna conclude our gaming right there. Let's
That
move
was way
on.
too long.
Let's
to-
move on to the next topic. Locations and landmarks. The future of those.
Well, I think with sea levels rising due to global warming, and at this rate, it's probably safe to say that global warming will not end, and it will keep going and rising until
Because
eventually.
nobody knows how to clean the earth.
No one wants to. It's the
Because they're
problem.
lazy.
The problem is no one. No, it's not that we
Yeah,
don't know how.
all the rich people like to spend money on other things, but they raise money for simple things when they could easily raise money to clean out all the oceans of plastic and everything.
Sorry.
Stop pollution.
Sorry, podcast. I'm tired. Okay, so basically, if the water levels rise above water locations, so like if, let's say, the western side of the United States just fell into the ocean, or not as specifically fell into the ocean as much as the ocean got tall enough to take out that part of the country. I think that before that happens, we should develop underwater cities. Figure out how to maintain a city underwater. That way, if push comes to shove and the land can no longer exist,
It gets
we
swallowed
can-
by the ocean. We can easily still live in a nice society
yes, exactly, under the sea.
under the sea.
Under the sea.
Just not a pineapple.
I was thinking The Little Mermaid, not SpongeBob, but
Oh.
yeah, okay. So I believe this podcast has gone on for about half an hour, if not a little bit longer. What else do we have?
We're still talking about the locations and landmarks, okay?
Yeah, I know.
I think with the locations and landmarks for the future of them, I think that a lot of it would turn into, like, technology-based more than well, I mean, it'd all still have to be
Smart
power
cities.
generated.
But also the
like-
problem with that travel, or the problem, not travel, but the problem with the underwater cities is which country would own them.
Yeah.
The sea is international waters, it's anyone's say, so,
Split into
yeah,
sections.
I know, but at the same time, it's like, eventually, if global warming continues, the whole world will be underwater. It will go from most land to water to a water-only planet, and there are planets out there like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a planet out there where the core of the planet is made of diamond.
Wow.
There's also a planet out there where the ground is made of ice, but on top of the ground it's on fire. Doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
I mean, but to be honest, I think that.
I feel like this topic really isn't
Long
our
enough.
specialty.
Yeah.
We can't really think of anything, but if you would like something about the landmarks in the future, what would you want? Look for the landmarks or locations in the future.
Honestly,
Keep them the same.
I just
Landmarks to
I
the
just
same.
want a food fabricator. That's all I want.
Just have a food fabricator in your house.
Yeah. You could just press a button and you have
Just
waffles for breakfast.
Just stick it in your room and you're
Scientist
good.
says, I have all the ingredients to make the cure for cancer, but let's make something that makes people.
No.
Diabetes fast.
I don't want a food fabricator. If I could choose, I would rather have a machine that does my laundry
okay.
without me having to actually move my laundry.
So how does that tie into what would you want for a location or landmark?
Exactly.
I guess that's more technology.
I would okay. I would say yes and no on smart cities and smart
Have
homes.
you played Watch Dogs? It's not good. I don't want
The
someone
reason
hacking
I
my
would
car.
say yes for smart cities is that it can be technologically advanced, and it would be kind of nice to just have a hologram of anything just right there, big enough to display for everybody to see it.
Yeah.
But there's also no, because if we ran solely on smart cities, something could go wrong, everything could fail, and everything would just crash, and then we wouldn't know what to do because we'd be in such a state of a panic that we can't think of anything to do.
Yeah. That makes sense. And not to mention that humans could...
Also,
technology
ADHD,
can make errors.
Yes.
And
especially
what if electricity meters or like power is controlled by technology?
yeah, and then
if-
an entire grid just crashes.
Yeah, then the rest of the cities without power completely, and hospitals have machines that keep people alive. Those machines could shut off and then they would die, you know? But I mean,
or you could have like a grid effect, one little place, but then it could just spread
mhm.
and shut down everything near it.
blackout.
Yes.
The ending
Yeah.
of Watch Dogs. That one. That's how I'm
All right.
Well, I think that's all for
Yeah, I think that's not really our strongest topic.
clearly. Let's move on to the next topic, which is... Okay, moving on to the next topic, technology of the future.
What do we think technology would be like in the future?
Well, if you imagine maybe 2 years, 3 years from now, not all too different, not that different.
Yeah.
But if you imagine 50 years or 70 years into the future,
Be dead.
There would be... No, you wouldn't. There would be
No.
some differences with technology.
okay, Rick, look at it this way. In 1940, the average human lifespan was 40 years. In 2019, the average human lifespan is 70 to 80 years. So, 70 to 80 years. So, if you calculate the fact that it's still rising at that rate, in 70 to 50 to 70 years, humans could live to like maybe 120. Okay, see, it's stuff like that. Like, you gotta factor in that maybe you won't live to 120,
Everyone.
but
someone
you
will.
might live to at least 100. And if you factor in when you were born, that could be early 22nd century.
I want to die at the age of 100 in Chicago.
It's very specific.
Well,
That's depressing.
let's get back into technology, guys.
Time travel.
No, don't mess with time.
I want time travel.
You mess with time, you can talk to yourself in the past, and that will create a time paradox.
Okay, if time travel were to become realistic, the government would obviously set rules and standardizations
CIA
into it.
wouldn't allow it.
I think they would.
No, they
Like
wouldn't.
time vacations, for example. But they come up with some technology where you can't interact with people who pertain to your life or know who you are, right?
Yeah.
So, time vacations, dude. Or hell, I wouldn't even go to the past. I mean, the future would be much cooler to go to than the past.
I'll go to the past for many reasons.
Well, yeah, I guess you could talk to fallen, lost relatives and stuff like that.
Not just for a time.
But I would love to see.
Time travel implemented.
I would love to see the Old West, dude. I mean, can you imagine bringing just a Glock 17 into the Old West and saving plenty of people?
That's called creating a time paradox.
Not necessarily as much. I mean,
so what?
you gotta
okay.
put it this way. Who would believe you if you told them some cowboy just showed up in town with a micro mini pistol, shot someone, and they died? I mean, who would believe you? Yes, the person would be dead, but they could chalk it up to Indians or, plenty of other things that were going around back then.
Okay, so what other kinds of technology do we think would be implemented into the future?
Food fabricators, please.
Stop thinking
I feel like-
with your stomach.
Still, no. I feel like a lot of food things would change.
We're gonna put food in a pill.
Yeah, like minimize it down
Have
to
you
the
seen
pill.
Wally? They put food in a milkshake.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
It's disgusting.
I feel like
Chocolate cake.
definitely
What about
definitely like your cellular devices or any device for that
Cloning.
matter.
altering genetics to make people have superpowers? Dude, that would be
Yeah,
lit.
That
would
would
be
be
a secret
so far
government
in the
project.
future, yeah.
That would definitely be a secret government project.
I mean, that's DNA
and like
realteration.
Rick Gold just said,
CIA.
cloning.
I see. I think
They do
cloning's
cloning,
stupid.
actually.
Yeah, I know they do
They just do
cloning.
it on animals.
Yeah.
And clones also
But I
take
feel like in the
several
future
years
that
to
they could-
develop, and they wouldn't be like an identical clone.
Clones also have an accelerated aging process.
Uh-huh.
They die
So by
faster.
the time they're like in their 20s, they'll look like they're in their 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like cats, but different on a much different scale. But anyway,
Oh, basically.
I think that cloning is kind of like if we could get like instant like identical clones, dude. Maybe cloning would be cool because you could send that person to do your chores, send them to the
You can't.
school and stuff and all that.
You can't never clone an identical clone. If you clone yourself, you'll just clone.
Well, not yet, but if we had a technology that could copy your DNA, your genetic markers, all your facial structures and outer lookings, and your emotional and personality, and make it the exact same age as you, then yeah, I mean, you could easily have a clone.
And there's such thing as called evil.
Well, doppelgangers. Well, that's different, but doppelgangers like an opposite cloning. I mean, it's like a different version. It's a clone, but they're evil. So yeah, doppelgangers would be a problem too, especially if the clone suddenly gains sentient
You know, just
sentient properties and starts taking out
This-
over the world.
This may be the final time we get off topic, hopefully, but you know that episode of Family Guy where Stewie meets his future self,
Yes,
and he thought it was his dad.
Yikes.
Did they ever make a follow up to that episode?
I don't think so. I still like the episode where Stewie makes clones of Brian and Stewie, and then they fall apart at the end of the episode.
I like the episode where Stewie has babies.
Okay, so what do we want? Like, what do we really, really want more in the future of technology? We already know that Axel here wants food fabricators
And time travel.
and time
Androids.
travel.
No.
Androids.
No,
Androids.
no.
I don't.
No.
No, I don't think androids would be.
No,
cool.
androids will exist eventually.
No, I want androids like from Detroit become human. Androids like that.
Yeah, but you've seen if you pay in Detroit Become Human, don't certain androids become evil and try to kill people? I mean,
Yeah, but that's because they're being abused. So don't abuse them.
yeah, but androids are hard to hit. Like they're made
But
of
man,
metal.
If there was an android like Connor, yeah, I would.
Okay, if
he
you
would
don't
be my
know
best
what
friend.
Detroit Become Human is, I would suggest you play it.
I played the demos.
I actually have the game.
See, I don't
have
I don't let myself play demos because then I'll be like, I have to buy this really now, like right now, and I don't want
Wait,
to.
do you have it on disc copy?
Yes.
Can I borrow it?
No.
Oof.
After you beat it.
No. This is one of my dad's. But
I asked him
what
to
I
borrow
would
Kingdom
like
Hearts one time. It didn't work out so well.
I'll give you Watch Dogs.
what I would like to I already have it.
Okay, I'll give you a game.
No.
You don't have any games that he wants.
You don't know.
What I would like to see in the future of technology, I honestly really don't know. I think a lot of like devices that we use in a normal household could be more technologically advanced.
I know exactly what I'm in the future.
Like our smart refrigerators can be upgraded. I feel like that could be upgraded a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the things that we use on a daily basis and don't realize that they're actually like technological devices could be changed a lot significantly
Yeah.
and just turned into like things of the future,
Hmm.
and like it can either hurt or help human life.
Society as a whole.
Yes.
I'd also like personality modification technology.
Interesting.
So basically,
We want to elaborate that one.
Okay, so basically, you come across, like, only for police use, obviously. So the police arrest a criminal, they can alter his personality so he doesn't have, or, maybe fix some disabilities with him so he could not be crazy enough to fly a plane into a tower or something like that.
yay, bring me 9/11.
So
Not trying to bring
anti-terrorism,
9/11.
is
No,
that-
not anti-terrorism. It's just, or even civilian use where they can alter their flaws. But then I guess people would lose their
That is-
individuality.
that
There's
is
a lot of
act-
problems with that, but there's also
Why would you
some
want that?
benefits.
That is actually a thing against human rights.
because everyone
What
wants.
is?
Well, they would use it with consent, but
No,
like,
that would be outrage. There would be protests against it.
well, there's protests against any new technology that seems suspicious.
Wow. Okay. On the news, person uses thing that changes their personality, changes their sexuality, changes their gender, changes whatever.
I said you would use it with consent, not force.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna, like, obviously they wouldn't force someone to change their sexuality just because they're different, you know?
Parents.
Okay,
But
parents,
technology.
like, I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe civilian use wouldn't be ideal.
Exactly.
But I'm sure if that technology did exist, they'd come up with some sort of guidelines against it. Like, if the person doesn't agree with it in their mind, the device won't work or something like that.
I feel like, well, okay, so earlier today we were talking about some technology, like, Rick Gold over here earlier was saying that, like, police can easily press a button and stop an engine of a car. So, basically, smart cars can get more technology.
But there's still some cons to that as well.
Like,
advanced.
self-driving cars have a navigation system, so,
Yeah.
like, the police could, if their self-driving cars become mainstream,
I'm not ever buying
that technology, that the police could just shut off the navigation system and the car stops working.
Yeah.
Something like
Not
that.
completely, because there would be a because that'll be like in planes with autopilot. You can still drive the car.
Or, smart cars or the Teslas, they're constantly being upgraded and everything.
Yeah.
They're constantly coming out with a new car, upgrading everything in it.
Yeah.
And then of course they're adding, from what I saw a few weeks back, they're now adding like a feature in the cars to where it'll like tell you what parts of the car are messed up.
Yeah.
If you have an error in the car, and you can easily order the parts for it and get it fixed easily.
Yeah. Well, I think that might bring our technology topic to a close,
Oh,
as
another
well
thing,
as
there's always going to be pros and cons to technology.
There will always
For
be
example,
pros and
that
cons to
car,
technology.
that stop thing, the car. If the police don't time it just right,
it could
either
kill
they're
someone.
gonna crash and kill someone, or they're gonna crash and the suspect gets killed.
See, but with that technology,
I feel like it would apply
about
emergency
being
brake.
able to being able to stop a car whenever, there would be some things about it where it can harm the
Right,
public.
but you could also look at it, if on the topic of those cars, the police are not just automatically, like, if they're in a high-speed chase, officers are not automatically allowed to just press a button and do that. They would have to ask for clearance. For example, if a police officer wants to pit a vehicle, which for those of you who don't know what a pit is, it's where the police officers pull up next to the back wheel of the car and turn their left or right wheel into the back wheel of the height of the suspect's car, which causes them to like spin out and stop being able to drive. Like, police officers have to ask for permission to pit so there's like minimal amounts of damage that can be done to the surrounding area. So again, they'd have to ask to be able to EMP the car's navigation system and stop it from driving.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe that's going to leave our technology unit technology topic to a close. And with that, I believe that concludes our New Beginnings podcast. I am your host, it's Axel, and this is my co-host, Trixzov.
Yep.
And today's special guest appearance is Rick Gold.
Thanks for watching.
If you enjoy this podcast at any point in the time, please consider subscribing, and please sub to Trixzov. And for you, Voltage, if you watched all the way to the end, please subscribe to Voltage _Dosage, because we know he's going to self-promote.
And of course, follow his Twitter, because, on the last one he commented, how did they know?
Right.
Voltage,
we know you.
we know you by now. You participate in live streams, and you self-promote every single live stream.
I am going to link my Twitter and my not my Instagram.
On his version,
I'm gonna link my link to my Instagram and Twitter are in the bio of my channel, but I'm gonna link my Twitter. Please consider subscribing to Rick Gold on 701 on YouTube without a space.
No, I put a space.
Oh, you put a space? Okay. Well, this has been the New Beginnings. It's just Rick Gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I'm gonna be making way much better content than the one that's actually on my page, so watch out for that.
Okay.
Subscribe.
Again,
follow our social medias.
to know when I upload / live stream, turn on that bell, and please subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it.
On both of our channels.
For those of you asking where those Siege live streams are, I am going to probably go make one upstairs as soon as possible. So yeah, thank you for watching the New Beginnings podcast, episode 2, and I will see you all in the next one.